Thank you for joining us on the Best Shows of Branson podcast. We take you behind the scenes on some of Branson's best shows. Now, welcome your hosts.
And we're back, and welcome back to Branson's Best Shows. We are joined with our friend Stevie Lee Woods from the Nashville Roadhouse Theater on the 76th Strip right here in Branson, Missouri. Stevie, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Matt. How are you today? CJ, you doing all right?
It's good to have you with us.
Hey, thanks for having me. And thank you to all y'all out there.
We are so glad to have Stevie here. Nashville Roadhouse live here in Branson. A show that's swept so many awards these last couple of years here is in Branson. I just want to ask you, how you've been here for how many years now? And Band of the Year 2021, that's crazy. It's awesome.
The show has been up and running now for 3 years. This is our third season. And we came in and we surprised everyone and surprised ourselves. I mean, it was a great honor to have all the nominations and win all the awards that we did win, and very humbling all at the same time. So it's way cool. I've been in Branson actually since 2005. So I was on the road playing music all across the United States and around the world. So I didn't do much in Branson. Every once in a while I'd do a show down at the Branson Landing where I brought in different guest stars like T. Graham Brown, Billy Dean. The first time that Billy Dean came to Branson to perform was actually with myself and T. Graham Brown down at the Branson Landing.
Okay, yeah.
And then he got the gig over at the Star, what was it called?
The Starlight.
Starlight, that's it.
Yes.
That's it. He had that for several years, and it was so cool. But so I've been in town for a long time.
So how did you get connected with a lot of these folks? Was it all from your time in Nashville, or we were with T. Graham Brown? How did you get these folks to want to come to Branson and showcase their work?
Well, you know, I was on the road for so long. In 1993, I had my first record deal, and I had #1 record back then. I'm not going to say how old I was then, so don't ask. I had that #1 rolling, and I got to perform and was on the road with so many folks that I met these people and became friends. I mean, befriended a lot of them by just being out and the longevity of the time that I was with them out on the road, bouncing around as back then we were called the Baby Act. And we would go out and open the shows for these guys. They might put a local act out there that they recruited to be on first. And,
sure.
So I got to know them and calling them now to come out here and hang out with all of us.
Stevie Lee Woods, once again, Nashville Roadhouse live theater here in Branson. So when you came to Branson from Nashville, what was the switch you wanted to make here? What made you want to come to Branson? What was attractive about these mountainous valleys here in the Ozarks?
Well, most people don't know this, but I own several other businesses as well. Excuse me. And I had an office here in Branson. And I actually came to shut that office down. And so, I know, right? And so I came out, my brother and I was out here. I had 22 or 23 people working here, but it was not a profitable office. Mm-hmm. So I came to close it up, and I liked it. And I started hanging out and came back more often. And I did inevitably close the office and downsize it, moved it to another state. But built a home out on the lake and been here ever since.
Man, so at the time, did you know you wanted to do shows out here? Were you just enjoying your company? Or when did you set your sights on the fact you wanted to open the Roadhouse?
Well, I'd been on the road so long, and I mean for a long time. And I was on the road, y'all, for about 50 out of 52 weeks a year. So home 2 weeks. And that's a long time to live out of a suitcase. And that went on for about 10 years straight. So I had my fill of doing the running the roads and all that good stuff. And I decided after I did, in 2005, my brother and I had the Majestic Steakhouse here in Branson, which is, if you don't know, it's was a very large, 27,000 square foot steakhouse. And it was cool. We had that, and I still didn't do a show or anything. And after being talked to by many different people in town, that I should just open up a show and bring all the names and people that I know to town, and I decided, okay, give it a shot. Let's go for it.
Does your brother still live here in town, or?
Yeah, he's actually in charge of all the production over at Nashville Roadhouse Theater, and he does a great job with it, and I'm proud of all the crew there.
Once again, this is Stevie Lee Woods with the Nashville Roadhouse Theater. I want to show you guys a clip of this fantastic show, Nashville Roadhouse Live, if you don't mind. And we're going to cut to that right now. Check it out. Wow, see, I love the show. I was blessed to be part of the show. A couple years ago, we showcased one of our shows here at the Americana Theater, and we had just a ball. I think that the band was hot. Everyone was super, super nice at the theater, and I'm so glad you guys are down here. What was the inspiration for Nashville Roadhouse? Because it's a great show, great concert, great music. How did you decide on that show?
Well, the format came to be, I wanted something that was a little different, a little out of the norm of Branson, but staying with the theme of Branson, meaning family and keep it. I wanted it more concert style, so that's what we did. And we, when you see the show, you're going to come out and see a show that from start to finish is nonstop energy. We don't have the comedic segue, anything. I mean, we don't have a comedian in the show or anything. We tell one-liners from the stage every once in a while, but those are off the top of our head. They are always spontaneous, and they work. But we wanted to keep it more of the music, and it all came together. There was no real, I had the thought in my head, the vision in my head of what I wanted to see, and then the guys made that happen, and collectively we put it together. And I agree with you, Matthew. My band is extremely hot. They're good.
Yeah, they're hot. They're super talented. Some great guys. Some of the funniest guys I ever met that I had the privilege to meet and work with. I mean, just starting off with Paul on drums. He'll cut you up. He's awesome. And
I got to share this with you. I just have to. I'm going to interrupt you.
Go for it. I'm ready.
We were on stage. And we're in the middle of a song. It was a real serious song, and we do this big production aspect to the dance. And I talk about the song, and they go into this, and it's a big deal. And it's all the lighting and the dancers and the interpretive dancing and all this. And while I'm doing this big segue to lead the audience down that road with me, and I said, every once in a while a song comes along that really just gets to you. And Paul breaks out in the back. No one out here could hear it. I like big butts, and that's
him.
It's like, and everybody on the risers, they started dying laughing, and then people in the audience are going like, what? I don't get it. What?
No one heard it, right? How did you decide on these guys? Because there's some world-class Branson musicians, some of the best. How did you get linked up with these guys first off? Did you have a way that you knew you wanted a couple people, or did you have some recommendations from some friends here in Branson? Or just
Mark Boyd, who's the band director, music director, I've been working with him and Paul Oney for 10 years, probably. And so I asked Mark, I said, put together a really hot band. And he did it. And so it's like, and we've been a good, almost like a family. Everybody there is, all for one for all kind of thing. And it's been so cool. I could tell you, and I will tell you some of those stories coming up in just a few minutes on the band and everybody else. It's been a unique experience.
So let's tie back to Nashville here a little bit. I want to go back to what brought you here beforehand. You done a lot with some music. You've tied some genres together. You brought different sounds to music. I want to hear about some of your inspirations. What got you into music in the first place? What was your inspiration for your sound?
My inspiration for the music and maybe my sound was my dad. My dad was a side guy, guitar player for Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. And he did that for quite a while. I mean, I was really little, but I remember bits and pieces. And my dad moved over to Eddie Arnold and worked with Eddie Arnold for a while. And he moved us all from, I'm from Bluefield, Virginia. If you don't know where Bluefield, Virginia is, it's probably because, like most people, nobody goes there. It's a pretty cool country town. But he moved to Chicago and recorded with ABC Records way back when. And I listened to so many different people. I mean, like everybody, I had listened to the Elvises of the world and Ricky Van Shelton and all these people growing up.
Sure.
And maybe a mixture of all that. My dad sang too. You know, everybody in my family played music. Everyone played music. And I can play several different instruments, but I'm not good at any one of them. So I'd rather perform and sing than play. But I can, and they've had me. I can tell you a story, and I want to segue to a story real quick because it just popped into my head. I was on the road with, and I'm not going to name, no, I won't name who it was, but I was on the road with this very talented young lady that was in the charts, big in the charts at the moment, and we were hired by Bally's Casinos to play the showroom, and we were out in the showroom, and I was opening because I thought it was appropriate for me to open it since she was had several hit records on the charts. It was just the proper thing to do. And she didn't have she didn't carry the way, whether I opened or she opened or whatever, because we were going to do at the end, be on stage together. Well, she got on stage, and I had done my little bit, and it was Sylvia. But I had done my little bit, and I was off, she was on. The management from the casino comes over, and they said, get on stage now. Play a guitar, play something. We need that energy. Sylvie's very energetic, but so I strapped on a guitar, and I might know 3 chords. I can chord, that's about it. Yeah. So I made it look, and I did a lot of spins and stuff, so it just looked like really cool. It was not much, man. It was not much. Anybody out there, any musicians out there, I'm sorry, and I apologize to you now.
No, it's the same thing. I mean, it's so tied to, I did guitar in British last year, and I'm a rhythm player. I know my chords, my 1-4-5s, but it's always it's about the act. It's about making people enjoy it, having the energy in the room. And you're probably a better guitar player than I am. I mean,
I dabble, but like Stevie said, I'm not going to get next to my band members and brag about it because they can play the socks off of these things,
No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
No.
So I want to hear, what's your craziest road story? What is your craziest story from a bus, a train, a plane, an automobile, anywhere?
Let me tell you one that, and then I'm going to go into one that I challenged Aaron Tippin and Colin Ray on. All right. Okay. But first, there's one that comes to mind that we had just done the USF Sundome in Tampa Bay, and it was me and Lorrie Morgan and I think it was Sammy Kershaw. I can't remember, but Lorrie Morgan for sure, because we had 3 days off. So these people, my management, rented a 72-foot catamaran for all of us to go out on the ocean and have a big time. And so we went out on this thing, and we're drinking. You can see all the pictures, and someday I'll show you all the pictures. But you can see how we transition from really sober to having a really good time. I'll just say that. And when we walked in about maybe an hour into that trip, somebody hollered out, let's play cards or something. So we went into the cabin, and Lorrie Morgan walks in the cabin, and she said, okay, I'm dealing. She puts down her bag, pulls out a blackjack hat, and stands there with her own cards, one every hand.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's hilarious.
So that's kind of cool. But let me think of another one. I'll tell you, the one that I was telling you about with Colin Ray, we were backstage over at the Star recently, and we were doing some footage. I can't remember for who, but they said they were telling their road stories. And they said, what? I said, I can beat you. I got you beat. And so I started telling them I was doing a Country Across America tour. It was a big country concert tour that they did from coast to coast. And we were part of that tour. And I was in Georgia at the time and working my way where I had to meet up with the tour and then go on. And I had to pick up a guy, meaning I needed another guy, a tech guy. And I hired a guy that was very well qualified. And so we went on. We did several shows. And we were after one show, we were hanging out at the hotel in one of the band members' rooms. Everybody's piled in there, and we were just like having some drinks and stuff. And the one guy who we hired, he said, well, I'm going to go down to 7-Eleven. Does anybody want anything for 7-Eleven? We're like, nah. You guys have to picture this. You folks out there at home, you have to picture this. This is back in the day before they had cell phones like we have now. This is back when they had big bag phones. Any of you that might remember those, they had those on the buses and stuff. They were like satellite phones almost, you know. And we were musicians, so we were staying at a hotel. We were too cheap to pay the deposit to turn the phones on. So we didn't have any phones on in the rooms. We didn't put up a credit card because I wouldn't let them use mine. And, just no. Excuse me. And we were there, and the guy said, okay, I'm going to go down to 7-Eleven. He goes down to 7-Eleven. We're watching America's Most Wanted. And we're just watching it, thinking nothing of it, waiting for stuff to come back. And all of a sudden, this guy's picture comes up on America's Most Wanted. And it was like, oh no! And the thing about it, the guy was wanted for stuff that was allegedly a serial killer. I'm just going to say that because I don't know the final outcome to everything. But the guy that was rooming with this guy was my keyboard player named Robbie. And we're there, and everybody's freaking out. The band's freaking out. Y'all, we look like the Three Stooges, but there was like 8 of us, all in a line going out the door, trying to make it across the street to get to the payphone to call America's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
And so we get across there, and we're dialing America's Most Wanted, the 888 or 800 number, whatever it was, and we're dialing it up. We think we got your guy. We got your guy. And they're like, okay, be cool. Just chill out. It's okay. And we're telling them, we're waiting for them to say, okay, we're coming now. You know, where they're going to send all these cops and everything, and we're done. No. They said, go back to the room, pretend like you know nothing, and we'll meet up with you and XYZ tomorrow morning. I mean, like Dragnet, you know, kind of thing. And we're like, oh no. So we go back to the room. The guy's not back yet. And we get back to the room, we're all sitting around there like, oh no. And he comes back, man, and every time he'd walk in the other room or something, by our actions, people were just freaked out. They're going, he knows, I know he knows. And we were just freaked out. He didn't know anything. The next day they got him. But nobody to this day could top that road story. And they did have to drag the police and everybody and took him off. But it was just a really, really, I don't think you could even ask or make that up.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, you're right. I don't think anybody could top that road story. But you've acquired so many road stories throughout the years.
Can I tell you one more before you? Sure. I have one. This is one that's really cool because Matt, this is one that
I'm excited.
Any musician, entertainer, you're gonna dig. That you're gonna like. Wow, we had this concert, and it was myself and the crew of the Grand Ole Opry, and we were doing in Florida. And it was a big outdoor festival, and we noticed there was a bar all the way across the street, and we were all talking backstage, when we get done here, we're all going to go crash that bar. So we got done, we went over there, we crashed the bar. The promoter came over, and he said, look, I've got you guys a great condo. I've loaded it with food, all the booze you could possibly want. And it's out on the island. I've got the boat ready to take you. Your buses are going to drive you to the boat. You got to take the boat across the island. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know? And we're like, okay, so we're down. We were sitting there, we're drinking. We got a little buzz on. We're ready to go. We're all arm in arm. And we're like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, you know, and all this. We get on the boat. We go across the island. We get off. We're walking up, still arm in arm. And there's the crew, the band, all the artists and everybody. We're all just having a big time. We go up. We see the condo. There's a bunch of condos. And so it's actually townhouses. And so there's a bunch of them. We walked in. There was a couple people there already. We go in, and we head straight for the booze in the kitchen because they were hungry. We've been performing. Nobody had eaten yet. And they wanted some more liquor because we already started at the bar. So we go on, and there's not very much liquor. There's hardly any beer, and there's a little bit of food. And we're like, man, dude, what is up with this? And the guys all started complaining and giving me a rash. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know. we walked into some unknowing person's home, and their kid and their wife and husband all sitting. They have a band of people that look like a bunch of hippies walking through.
Oh my gosh!
And it was funny, man. It was good. It was good. Now they didn't. They were like okay with it after the fact. They realized because some of the people that were on that gig too were pretty well known folks. So
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they just tell you the wrong house, or I mean, what?
well, they told us the right house, but we were already had been drinking, so we just went into the that's it right there, and we went in it there. We went, and that's why you should never leave your front doors open or unlocked.
That's like my biggest fear with like Airbnb or any of those things is like someone puts a fake listing out and you walk in, there's a family sitting there. You're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh. And where was that? Where was that again? You said
Florida.
Oh wow. Okay.
It was cool though. That's another good one. I have a lot of them though.
We could do a whole series on just road stories. I would love to go down to performers in town and just get crazy road stories.
No kidding. I was going to mention beforehand. I was thinking, did you have any difficult experiences as far as overseas road gigs and things like that? Because when you tour around overseas, you end up with a lot of different situations and circumstances.
The first time nothing ever difficult. It was maybe customs one time. Customs. I mean, they pulled us aside, or they didn't even pull me aside. They pulled one of my guys aside, and they were going to search everything he's got and all this stuff. So we being the band that sticks together, we decided, okay, if you're going to search him, you're going to search all of us. So we all walked in there and said, search everybody, let's go. But nothing hard. We went overseas, and this is cool because the first time we landed in Heathrow Airport in London, and it was like 8 hours or 9 hours, I don't remember now, from Miami. We left from Miami, and we got there. The whole way over, we were drinking. Imagine that. We were drinking, and the stewardess, it got so bad. Back then, they were flight attendants now. Flight attendant was like bringing us beer and liquor, and we got hooked up. There was 2 merchant marines sitting next to all of us, and it was me, my brother, Del Reeves, Freddie Fender, and all of us were sitting there.
Wow.
And it was so cool because we're there, and they're bringing us booze. And finally, the flight attendant comes over, and she says, come here, Mr. Woods, come here. I said, oh, I thought I was in trouble or something,
Yeah.
And she said, come here. She brought me back to the galley. She said, here's the booze. Here's everything else. Help yourself. She got tired of bringing it back to all those. We had like 13 or 14 people sitting right there,
Oh,
And it was crazy.
So this is, you're not going to ask. So you have a very iconic look. Whenever I see you, I see the vest, I see the sunglasses. But the sunglasses.
I'll tell you about those.
I want to know. Was there a story to that?
Well, it's I can't see. If I wore my regular glasses, I mean, I look nerdy enough. I don't need the glasses to help me out. You know what I'm saying? So the sunglasses are not a statement of trying to be cool or anything. It's their prescription glasses. I'm nearsighted in one eye, farsighted in the other. So when I look at things, it's like, bleh. And I can't wear contacts because my astigmatism's too bad. Oh. So it's like, no, that's why I wear them.
It's good to see.
Yeah. But I always thought it was a cool look between that, and I always see you wearing the coolest vests, and I love the paisley and the patterns and the sequins and stuff I've seen. It's just, I think it's a rocket, and the boots.
Yeah, and then, it's where country meets rock and roll. I mean, you fit the theme very well.
Oh, thank you. And we are trying to do that a lot. We've got, I don't know when this is going to air, but this weekend, we have Scotty Austin from Saving Abel, and he's there. So we're going to definitely get the country meeting the rock and roll. It's going to slam hard. And then, Sunday, I'm trying to have enough of a mixture where I do have that country and rock and roll kind of thing. So we're hitting that full demographic,
Sure.
Now, what are some future plans that you have? Is there anything you can leak down the pipeline right now, the things that you might have in the workings?
I have in the works right now for Sammy Hagar and Pat Benatar.
That's
going to be
awesome.
there.
Nice.
And I've got some others that I could say because it's in the works. I didn't say they're going to be there yet. I said we're working on it. It's I've got some really big names that are going to hopefully come out to the Star. It's all about dollars and cents too. And with COVID and stuff, it's been really difficult to try and plan on are you going to sell? What are you going to sell? You don't know. And you guys are here all the time. You don't know. And when we all went through COVID together, you know, you might have 100, you might have 500. You don't know.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't matter who you have. It's all about, do people feel safe? Are they cool with it? You know, whatever. And so there's a lot in the works, but those are two names that are more farther along. We have the Headhunters coming up on September 18th.
Yeah, I saw that.
They're way cool. Have you ever hung out with them?
No.
Come over and hang out.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, actually.
And that's what I thought was really cool about your theater, too, is after the show, everyone's hanging out, having a good time, sharing some drinks, some food. I think it's the vibe of this theater, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't checked out the Nashville Roadhouse Live Theater, you really have to go. I had such a fun time whenever I go over there.
You guys did have a blast. It was like
party.
it was so much fun.
It was a good night. Everyone hangs out, and then you guys do like karaoke afterwards sometimes, right? So it's a party every time you have
every
a show,
Friday and Saturday night, and soon to be 7 nights a week. But every Friday and Saturday night, we get done with the show, and everybody kind of filters through. What I was trying to do is capture them as they leave the show. You know, it's like, built-in crowd, and it works. You know, it's about getting all those guys. My band comes out and hangs out. All the guests come out. I mean, Colin Ray comes out. Aaron Tippin comes out, hangs out. They get up there and sing karaoke. You know, they get up there and sing karaoke and have a good time. It's just fun.
That's pretty incredible, because that's what you want when you go see these stars. That's what you want, is you want this kind of interaction.
When Colin Ray comes back, Chris, you're gonna need to tie CJ.
Yeah,
down
you already
before we go over there.
You already know where I'm going. So I mean, I've been.
Colin Ray's coming back. Colin Ray's coming back this fall. So you need to come on
Chris,
over.
get ready.
And so come on over and hang out at the bar too. You know, I already told CJ everyone that Scott Baio's here in a few weeks.
Yes,
weeks,
I'm
and
excited.
you need to come over. She said, "I'm coming," and she said, "Okay, I'm telling you, I'm going to be there."
Yeah, I can't wait. Speaking of that, here is a word from a good friend of ours. Take it away.
And we're with Branson's Best Shows podcast, and guess who we got to run into? Scott Baio. Just finished up his show, did an amazing job.
Thank you.
What do you think of Branson so far?
It's very nice. People are lovely. All I've seen is what I've driven through. It's a lot of green, clean. It's beautiful here, and like I said, the people are fantastic.
Excellent. Well, and you did a great show, and that's what we try to promote here with Branson's Best Shows. Any chance you'll ever come back here so we can get you back into town?
I have no idea. I mean, sure. I mean, why not?
Why not? We sure do appreciate you, and thank you for coming to Branson. We love having you guys come, and we sure do appreciate you.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
And thank you, Scott Baio. That was awesome. We'd love to hear from you. And speaking of famous stars, we want to hear some more about how you brought Billy Dean to Branson.
That was 2010, I believe, or 14. I can't remember now. But I had Billy come in. I had known Billy, but I actually had to contact his agent.
Okay.
And so I got his agent to book him in with me and T. Graham Brown. I've done a lot of shows with T. Graham Brown over the years. In fact, he sang on several of my records with me. Mm-hmm. But he came and we did the show down at the Landing, and it was a blast. We had a blast. And you know something which is amazing to me? I don't know if it's been topped yet, but back at that time, we had the largest crowd that the Landing has ever seen. So it was really cool. I mean, they estimated it to be, it was over 10K.
Wow.
So that was pretty
Which
cool.
I think is what they were wanting for the Landing originally. So that's neat that you were able to stoke the fire, if you will. You know,
they were standing so far back, it was really weird. They were standing out on the street like you're going up towards Dick's 5 and Dime up there. You know, so it was like cool. It was cool though.
That's crazy.
I've been down there whenever it's that crowded, and the atmosphere, the energy that's down there is just really awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Now you have some music that you're still releasing music. You have some new stuff, some stuff that's come out these last few years. Where can folks go to check out some of your newest stuff right now?
You can go to any of the online stores that's available at every one of them. And you can also go to NashvilleRoadhouse.com and find it, find links to it as well. And that's primarily it, yeah.
Awesome.
It's so cool. We're working on new music right now, and I got to tell you that the The last record I cut was a song that was written by Elton John and Bernie Taupin.
Yes.
And it did really well. It did really well for all of us, for me and the band. We got that record out there. It's now in 173 countries around the world. The video is. We won the Telly Award on the 43rd Annual Telly Awards for the best music video of 2022.
That's awesome.
Sure.
We won the Anthem Award, and I can tell you that we're nominated for an award that starts with a G. I'll leave it at that.
I think we know what that one is.
That's
Not going to tell you yet because I'll be violating things. So, but it starts with a G.
I was meaning to ask you about Elton John. Was he one of your idols? I mean, you sounded great. You sounded just like him.
Well, it was like I listened to Elton John growing up, you know, a lot of it. And then Universal Music Group, and I was thinking, wow, I was just listening to different songs and wanting to cut something. And we've written a lot of stuff, like all of us, you know, and Universal Music Group contacted us and said, we want you to record this, make it your own, put your own spin on it. And we did. And it's like, wow, we got like I said, the Telly and the Anthem Award. The Anthem Award is like for Social Awareness Video of the Year, which is crazy because it is, the concept of the video, y'all, just so you know, is that love has no boundaries. Love is love. I don't care who you love is love. So that's basically the concept of it. And it's depicted in that video, and it's depicted well without being blatantly in your face about anything. So it's there, and it's tastefully put together. And I'm not saying it because I'm in it or in my video. I'm just saying that the producers, that I had a vision, and then they took that and went, so it's so cool. And it was filmed in the USA, Bogota, Colombia, and Rio. So it's filmed everywhere.
That's awesome. Guys, once again, this is Stevie Lee Woods from the Nashville Roadhouse Live Theater on the 76th Strip in Branson, Missouri. Currently, you can catch the show Friday and Saturday nights right at the Nashville Roadhouse Live Theater. And if you want to get more information on schedule, tickets, and more information for the show, you can go to
NashvilleRoadhouse.com or dial 417-320-3418.
Awesome. Stevie, thank you so much for coming out today, talking with us. I loved hearing the road stories. And anytime you have more road stories, I think we could do a whole series on
I've got a bunch of them.
stuff.
CJ, thank you. Matt, thank you so much. And most of all, thank all y'all out there. Thank you so much for watching.
I'm CJ Newsom.
And I'm Matthew Boyce, and we will continue to bring you Branson's best shows. We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye.
See y'all.